Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, and this week's contract tip has to do with selling a for sale by owner. So if you are working with a buyer and your buyer wants to buy a property listed through just with a for sale by owner, so not actually listed but offered by a for sale by owner, there are a couple of things that you as a licensed real estate agent need to do. Number one, you need to make sure, or you need to determine which party is going to pay your commission. Is the for sale by owner seller going to pay your commission, or is the buyer going to pay your commission? Either way is fine, but number one, that must be determined up front prior to going under contract, and number two, that must be disclosed in writing. So there are a couple of forms out there available for you to help with that. Number one, there is the authorization to show unlisted property, which is the GAR form. It is GAR form F3, and the RE form is called seller authorization to show property without a listing, and that is RE form 158. Both of these forms contain the same information. So you need to have these forms filled out for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's Maximum One policy that when you are working with the public in whatever capacity, whether it be in a client relationship or in a customer relationship, our policy is that we require you to have that documented in writing. So as you know, the client relationship with the seller is created in the listing agreement. Client relationship with a buyer is created in the buyer brokerage form. A customer relationship with a seller is created in this form, authorization to show unlisted property, and the customer relationship with a buyer is created in a form, agreement to work with buyer as a customer or customer acknowledgement. All of these forms are available in both the GAR contract set as well as the RE forms contract set. License law dictates that, well, not license law, sorry about that, but Beretta dictates that you have in writing your relationship with a buyer if you are working with a buyer as a client, and you need to have it in writing if you're working with a seller as a customer in order to list the property. So what we're dealing with is the customer relationship, especially with the seller in this specific instance for dealing with a for sale by owner. So these customer documents, seller and buyer customer documents, they do a couple of things that protects you as the agent. Number one, in those forms, it clearly outlines the relationship between your public person and you and your broker as the agent. It clearly delineates what the legal relationship is, what the roles and responsibilities are of each party. So you are definitely better protected with that. The other thing is it delineates who is paying commission, how you are getting paid commission. So not only that, license law, GREC Rule 520-1-.064B also states under broker relationships that a licensee shall provide written disclosure to both buyer and seller, revealing the party for whom the firm is acting and from whom that firm will receive valuable consideration for its efforts as agent in the transaction. If the licensee's firm is not acting as an agent for either party, i.e. working with the public people as a customer, then the licensee shall make a written disclosure revealing from whom a licensee's firm will receive any compensation for its efforts in the transaction. So the first part regarding who the firm is working for, that is handled actually in the purchase and sale agreement. That's why it has that agency disclosure at the bottom of the form where you disclose, are you working with, is your firm working with the buyer and the seller as a client, as a customer, dual agency and designated agency, so forth and so on. That complies with that. But not only is it best to protect yourself to get paid by having it in writing from a seller on this authorization to show unlisted property, seller authorization to show property without a listing, not only is it a good idea so you're not doing free work, but also license law requires that you do have it in writing disclosing from whom the payment is coming. So again, just a quick tip on working with for sale by owners. Hope that helps, and thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation, and education.